The owner has been my friend since the time I...
Don't start. We should spur the horses on. God knows, they might be hot on our heels. Yeah! Christ, wounds. Such destruction and havoc.
War. Monsieur Chapon, you have yet to participate in a real battle. But I fought against les Valaques at Naples, and les Anglais in Bourgogne. And that is how war looks, whether in Italy or La Bohème. It is always the same.
That's not war, it's barbarism. What value did this village have?
Eh bien, I would estimate 5 courtyards. Annual revenues could be perhaps, several hundred groschen?
That's not what I meant, Bacalin. No fortress. Maybe one fortified courtyard. Practically insignificant militarily. That's not how war should be fought. This is unjust.
Do not give way to sentimentality, monsieur. A village could harbor spies and saboteurs or supply the enemy, and destroying enemy assets is an effective tool of war. Wars are not decided only in battles. There are not even many of those. To strike in the rear, make the enemy lose and bleed. That is how most conflicts are fought. Or whether wait a year or two, the village will be settled. The population will increase again. That is how it always happens.
But we're the nobility. Our task is to lessen the chances of such things happening.
You're right, Hans. We must find allies and put a stop to it as soon as possible, so we can save as much as we can.
Yes, but we failed in Trotsky. And now this is our punishment.
I see that short captivity has turned you into a philosopher, Lord Capon. You should apply to the Faculty of Arts before the muse lifts you again.
Here!
Scoundrels!
I fucked everything up.
Oh, get up, lad. Everyone makes mistakes. Only a better man owns up to them. At least we know now what kind of vermin we're dealing with.
What brings you here? We just escaped from Malashov, and right now
There's no time for haste. One thing at a time, my boy. Word reached Ratai that you pair got yourselves into a nice mess. I'm glad to see you both in one piece. So, let's hear it. What happened?
It's best if Henry tells you. I wasn't around for half of it.
no sooner had we spied Trotsky on the horizon, than everything started to go to hell. We made camp by a pond with the intention of heading for the castle at first light. Only we were ambushed by bandits in the evening. They killed all our men and took everything they could carry, including the letter for von Berghoff.
And how did you two manage to get out alive?
Just by a stroke of good luck. We were both in a bad way. We might not have made it if a local herb woman hadn't taken care of us.
Only after that, we couldn't get into the castle, though. We looked like a pair of beggars.
And the bastards treated us as such.
But you did get into Trotsky in the end, didn't you?
Von Berghoff received us. and heard us out. It seemed like he was on our side. We even helped him out several times. Until we found out he was just stringing us along. It all came out after we set out with von Bergov's men to deal with the bandits who were rampaging in his domain. The same ones who attacked us at the start.
Only they ambushed us and took me and Henry captive for ransom.
But it turned out these very outlaws are on our side. They're fighting for King Wenceslas on the orders of Sokol of Lamberg.
Well, I'll be damned.
So von Bergov has been the real enemy all this time. And Zizka is actually our ally.
Zizka. He's the captain of those outlaws. That name doesn't ring a bell.
I think you'll meet him soon enough.
What impression did he make on you?
He's some impoverished yeoman. But he's handy in a battle, and he helped us when we needed it.
He made quite an impression on me, for one. I'll be happy to see him again. But if only it didn't have to be in Rabosh. Why Rabosh? Of all the places in the world.
We're riding to a gathering of King Wenceslas's supporters. If fortune favors us, the future fate of the kingdom will be decided there.
If we keep standing around here gabbing about it, it'll be decided without us.
Patience, my friend. This pair have just returned from the clutches of the enemy. No doubt they have something to tell us.
Like how in the devil did you manage to escape?
I was helped by the Ruthard family, the former rulers of Malashov, in exchange for dealing with some trouble they had with Ulrich of Raditz.
Ulrich Vavak? But he's the mint master.
Well, he won't be for long, if it comes to light that he's been putting his sticky fingers on the royal silver.
It seems you've been pretty busy.
But don't forget to say what you found out from von Bergov in Malashov.
Sigismund has convened the city council. Markvart von Aulitz will be there with him, too. The word is, Sigismund is going to make an important announcement there.
He picked a nice time for it. But at least he won't be sticking his nose into what's going on around.
Now, if we had one of our people at that assembly, we'd get Sigismund's plans nice and fresh. Straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
My very words. And I know exactly who to send. Young Lord Capon will go with us to Rabosh, but you'll have to return to the city right away, and try to worm your way into the town hall.
What? How can I get in there? I can't just walk in off the street.
You've got the dirt on Vavak, and you don't know how to use it. Just tell him either he gets you into the council chamber, or you get him on the gallows.
It's worth a try, right?
I hope that assembly really is important. If Sigismund is just going to announce an increase in taxes, there's not much point in my being there.
Well, at least you can enjoy watching the long faces of the councillors when they hear it. And don't worry, I'll eat and drink in Rabosh on your behalf.
If I come back and find you there under lock and key again, I'll leave you to rot.
T'inquiète. I will go as well, and I will not let your friend out of my sight.
Hans? Who's this?
Vaclin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo, at your service.
He was a captive of Lord von Bergov's, like me. He defended Kuddenberg against Sigismund.
In that case, he'll be a welcome guest at Rabosh.
You don't know what you're promising, Baron. Watching Sir Hans is a job and a half.
The main thing is to watch out for yourself, Henry. As soon as you can do so without raising suspicion, come and join us.
He'll manage it, but now we really need to hit the road.
Safe travel, Henry.
Adieu et bonne chance!
And to you. Hopefully we'll meet soon. I ought to go and see Rosa when I'm in town. No doubt she'd like to know how it went with that book.
What do you want?
No mercy!
Mercy! Spare me!
Mutt! Here you go. Take it. I need something to eat. Quick! Quick! Go! Go! Quick! Quick! Die! Die! Die!
See the face of a good-for-nothing sinner. Last night, emboldened by booze, He tried to break into a respectable and chaste woman's parlour. He bellowed and banged on the door so much, the poor woman feared for her life and decency. When the guards arrived, he bombarded them with all kinds of insults, which led to a brawl. He badly wounded 3 soldiers, left 2 with bruises, and taunted another with the foulest insults imaginable. Take a good look at the lecturer's drunk, and let him be a lesson to you. Anyone who flouts the law or abandons morality will meet the same fate.
That's justice for
Not
you.
your day, eh? How's it going? I expect that's not very comfortable on your back.
Fuck my back. I can hardly feel it anymore. But recently, some joker passed by and put a dead fish in my breeches. So you don't end up here too.
Henry!
How is Peter doing?
Henry, it helped. Peter got up in the morning and went straight to work. I can tell he's still fighting something in his head, though. He looks fearfully to the horizon, but hopefully things will get better with time. It won't go away as quickly as it came, but we'll get through it somehow.
Just keep giving him hope.
I will. You can count on it.
I'm glad I could help. But don't forget our deal. The Thunderstone is mine now.
But the stone helped Peter. We need it, and I'll never be able to afford another one. It'll protect our homestead. And what if Peter's illness returns? Then I'll need the stone again.
The stone has great power, but it's used up all the strength it had for you. Now it's time for it to help others.
You're right. Here, it's rightfully yours. It's hard to give it up, knowing how much I spent on it. That's why I can't give you anything else as a reward right now. But believe me, I'll spread the word of how you helped us around the village.
Thank you. That's good enough for me.
Farewell.
Good boy. Good boy.
Sure, I tell you, and you dob me in.
Are you crazy? Why would I dob you in?
Just stop it, will you? Gossiping about it won't do anyone any good.
You think I'll blurt it out to the first person I meet?
Oh,
No,
you
I just want
mutt.
to be sure nobody finds out. You never know. What is that door? Why is it open?
Go! Ka! Go! Ka! Quick! Go! Go!
Ka! 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 Quick! Go! Ka! Go! Go! Quick! Ka! Come here. Look what I have for you.
There now.
Go! Quick! God! God! Go!
Surprise! Oh. Kurwa!
I'm just getting started! By God's will, die!
I'll beat you to a bloody pulp!
Die, you wretch! You can't take me!
We'll see about that! I'll rip your ass! You never saw that coming! I'll rip your arse open! You won't get me! Look around! Damn it! Fuck you! I've been waiting for you!
Come here. Come here.
Nice one.
There now.
God! Go! Quick! God! Come here.
I found that Thunderstone.
Really? That's bloody brilliant! I thought I'd lost it for good, to be honest. But it seems to have found its way back to me after all. Which just goes to show I was meant to have it.
Well, perhaps there's some truth in that. Here you go.
Hey, thank you so much. I won't forget this. And I promise to reward you. I can give you some of the coin I put aside from my fights. Or I can show you some wrestling feints and holds if you want. You know, it was a close fight last time.
Wrestling moves, you say? I'm all ears.
Well, listen carefully then. And be ready to take it all in. That's it. I hope you got it. Just remember, once you engage, you can't stop attacking as long as he's on his feet. Give him a moment to get his bearings, and you're asking for trouble. Take that to heart.
Hey, go away.
Thanks again.
Call
for the
back that
things.
dog.
You did the right thing. God be with you, Henry.
Get out of here, mutt. No one wants to hear your barking. Damned mutt.
I found the Thunderstone.
Really? Oh, God bless you, Henry. Without the stone, I don't know what I would do. Or what else could help me.
Well, you don't have to worry about that now. Take the stone. I hope it helps you.
Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me. This stone will make giving birth easier and save my baby's life.
Glad to have been of service.
I'll get Hannah to give you a lower price at the stud farm, as I promised. And you know what? I'll share a piece of wisdom my grandmother taught me. She said you need to brew nightshade with twice as much mugwort and a good splash of brandy. That's how to fix a concoction that'll clean you out at both ends and cure all sorts of ills. She used it on me after I gave birth and said it saved my life. So it could come in handy for you too sometime.
Thanks. That sounds, let's not say dangerous exactly, but definitely fascinating. I'll just make a quick note so I don't forget. Not sure I'll ever muster the courage to try it, though.
Think nothing of it. And if you want, stop by and talk to my husband, Demir. He's a very skilled man. And since you've been so helpful, if you like, perhaps he'll let you in on some of his blacksmithing secrets. Oh, and I also have some money put aside for emergencies, so you can have that. It's not much, but it's all I can give you.
Hold on to your money. I'm sure it'll come in handy for you at some point. I was glad I could help. So let's leave it at that.
Oh, Mother Mary. What a noble man you are. Thank you. You've no business here.
Tell me then, what did he give you for it?
Sure. I tell you, and you dob me in.
Are you crazy? Why would I dob you in?
Look, just drop it, will you? Gossiping about it won't do anyone any good.
You think I'll blurt it out to the first person I meet?
No, I just want to be sure nobody finds out. You never know.
How are things at home? Calm down a bit?
Aye, the celebration is over and done with. Everything's going well. I'm in fine fettle. It's almost odd how well things are going.
Oh, please. Enjoy the peace and quiet while it lasts.
See, that's what bothers me. That it ain't like this all the time.
You sure ain't easy to please.
Aye, I get a bad feeling when nothing's going wrong. Don't our learned physicians have a name for that?
I believe it's called boredom.
What? I'm not bored.
If you...
I'd like to learn something.
What are you interested in?
I better not forget about that council assembly.
Good to see you.
God be with you.
Greetings. You silly doggy.
I apologize.
Thank you, and come again, sir.
Careful.
Look what I have for you.
Here, mutt.
All right. There, it looks better already. Greetings to you.
I don't know what you said to the Pitmaster, but he left here looking like he met the
I ought to go and see Rosa. She'll be expecting me. And I mustn't forget about the city council. By the way, like you were saying about that book,
My favourite book? Pray tell, did you find it?
as I wandered through the fortress, I stumbled upon von Bergov's chambers, and there it lay. Red leather, gold inlay, just as you said.
You really found it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. By the way, did you have any time to leaf through it and see what it's about?
I read a bit of it.
What did you think?
Why don't you tell me what you find so compelling about it? It's your favourite book, right?
Well, let's say that I identify with the author. We share a similar view of the world.
And who is the author? I didn't find a name in the book.
That's on purpose.
You wrote it, didn't you?
Look, you've never thought about writing something.
Me? And what would I write?
How should I know? Poetry, a novel, a treatise, or a whole book?
That's a tempting notion. Who knows? In another life, I might have become a writer.
Wouldn't you want to at least give it a try?
I suppose I'm not quite sure where you're going with this.
There are still a few blank pages left, so we could finish writing it together. You and me. What do you think?
That sounds great.
We'll have plenty of light and privacy in my chambers. Will you escort me?
My pleasure.
How should I start?
You haven't thought of anything yet?
Now, I have many ideas,
But we must contribute in equal parts.
Both? Well, fine. And what should I do?
Just tell me what you'd like to read about. A tale of a man or a woman? I'll take careful notes of everything.
Well, being a man myself, a man, I suppose.
Why not? And what kind of a man is he?
You mean I have to think up a name?
You don't need to, but try to describe him so I can better imagine him. With a single word, even.
Now, there've already been enough heroes, saints, kings, and martyrs. So an ordinary person.
That's 2 words, but I'll forgive you. And do you want it to be an ordinary villain or an ordinary do-gooder?
Make him a villain. Real scum, like a murderer or a thief.
You seem to be quite enjoying this. What of your conscience?
You mean whether I've ever done something bad?
The lines between good and bad are fairly blurry these days. But have you ever done anything against the law?
I won't pretend to be a saint. I've already snapped a few times and have a few mishaps on my conscience.
Forsooth. So you're another little thief who steals from the rich, gives to the poor, and spins the ladies' heads around.
Am I spinning your head around?
I don't mean me in particular. Never mind. Back to our story. So, you proposed a murderer. What has driven him to this act? What was his motive?
What about revenge?
Cold-blooded, bloody, and best of all, unjust. I like that.
Did I ever tell you that you scare me a little sometimes?
I don't know what you're talking about. Well, just about finished.
Well, let's have a look.
Not yet. Something's missing.
What?
A picture. I don't trust myself with proper illumination, but I think I can handle a sketch, especially if you'll be my model.
What? And what on earth do I have to do?
Have you ever seen anyone play a flute? So sit down and pretend you're playing one.
As you wish. But promise you won't laugh at me.
Well, now we're done.
Oh, finally. I'm sore all over.
Your suffering is over. Come take a look at what we've done. Your reward. Go on, read it. I want to hear what you think of it. So what about that story of ours? Tell me your impressions.
It's nice. It reminds me of the fairy tales I heard as a child. Some scared me so much I nearly crawled under the table. But that's just the way fairy tales are.
My dearly departed mother used to say that the Twilight Witch would carry me off if I misbehaved. And it seems father still wishes she would at times. And what about the sketch? For such a slapdash job, it's not bad, right?
Oh, it's pretty, really. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
I know I'm no master illuminator, but otherwise, I think we can be quite satisfied. And thank you for the help. I really enjoyed it.
Well, so did I. I'd like to see you again sometime. Would you mind if I stopped by?
Please do. I'll be glad. It will certainly be enlightening for both of us.
You said you could teach me something. What did you have in mind?
If you ask nicely, I'll share some of my hard-earned wisdom with you.
Very well then, Lady Know-It-All. Let's say then I come on bended knee. What scholarship can you pass on to me?
That depends on what you're interested in. There's a whole world hidden inside of books I could talk to you about for days on end. Or if you prefer actions instead of words, I can show you a few shooting tricks. But I warn you in advance that it will not come free. After all, there's nothing more valuable than scholarship. So, what would you like?
I'd like you to show me some archery tricks. You shoot like a... well, a wild woman.
I prefer the term Amazon.
Will you teach me?
Listen closely so I don't have to repeat myself.
Tell you, don't chuck your shit.
Good day.
Gather round, good men, so you can avoid danger. Hear what I say about the greatest evil of all. One called woman. They look like angels on...
I'm going to see the Mint Master. May I enter?
Any fool could say that. What do you want from him?
I have an appointment with him.
All right. Go ahead then. But don't waste too much of his time.
The best squares on the market. Come and take a look.
Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again? I'll call the guards.
Hold your horses. I'll come in peace. Actually, I have a little offer for you.
You've come to blackmail me again?
Call it what you like. I need to get into the City Council Assembly, and I reckon you can help me.
The Assembly? The one King Sigismund is supposed to attend in person?
Surely you wouldn't deny me a chance to meet the king?
Don't try that on me. This is connected with Ruthard, isn't it? And tell the truth.
Well, I just want to climb the social ladder a bit. Nothing wrong with that, is there?
And could you not choose a different occasion for that?
Have you forgotten I have you over a barrel? If you want to keep your position and your head on your shoulders, you better shape up.
All right, all right. Maybe we can make a deal. If I get you into the council, you'll behave appropriately and you won't betray yourself, or especially me. And that will be the end of our business together.
All right. That seems like a fair deal.
You can get into the council assembly relatively easily. My cook's son will be serving there. He's roughly around your age. Maybe he can be persuaded to let you stand in for him. Although, not everyone would want to give up an opportunity to serve the King of Hungary.
Who's this boy?
Franta's his name. Franta Cooldown. He's an idler and a boozer, but he's proved his worth as a waiter. Which reminds me, you'll need his letter of permission to serve in the council. Otherwise, you won't be let inside.
What will I need to work as a waiter there?
Fast feet and good manners. And the livery of a royal waiter.
Excuse me?
Do you think you can serve the king in a torn shirt and muddy hose?
Well, no. But I never heard about any livery before.
Our usual waiter had a brand new livery made specially for meeting the king. Don't even show up there without it.
Where can I find the cook's boy?
He's supposed to pick up his new clothes at the market today from Master Tailor Schneider. You'll almost certainly run into him there. That is, if he's up and about after his boozing bout. I swear that fellow practically lives at that Tin Hen.
At the what?
That German alehouse, the Iron Eagle. That is Zum Eisernen Adler.
What would work on him? How can I persuade him to give me his job?
Would you like me to give you a letter for him? I told you how to get to the assembly. Now do your part.
I'll be going then. See you at the council.
Just make sure we both come out of it alive.
Hands off the door, all right?
Quality goods, the finest ware. Fruit pie.
God be with you, sir.
Muslin, Barchit, the strongest
excuse me.
Barchit from Kashov.
Delicious horseradish. Come and... Get some wonderful horseradish.
How are your knees? feeling better?
Oh, yes.
Finest wares, quality goods.
Bill?
Iron tools. Tools here.
We've got enough to go around. Anything you need.
Knives. Knives.
The finest work. I nearly left my fingers on them for buttons.
Greetings. I'd like to...
Surely you can wait a while. I have a customer here. Here you are. The finest fabric. Intricate work. You won't find the likes anywhere else in this town.
No more than I'd expect after the amount they cost. Thanks. I'll gladly recommend you if anyone asks. And you impatient fella, what was it you wanted?
You must be Franta Cooldown.
I am. And who might you be?
I'm Henry. I heard you're supposed to serve at the City Council Assembly.
I am. What's it to you?
Supposing I took the job on for you. You can put your feet up, fill your belly, and I'll do all the work for you.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that keen on it, but it's well paid. Apart from that, it's a bit of a pain in the arse. Them councillors stuffing their faces and guzzling wine, while I run around like a bugger with pitchers so they don't run dry. Why would you want to stick your nose in there?
I want to see the king in the flesh.
Why's that?
I heard a lot about him. How he won lots of battles, how he's courageous, just...
And as bad-tempered as the devil. He's got the councillors shitting themselves, fearing what's coming at this assembly. The more I think about it, the happier I am about not having to be there. To begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a waiter at the council and you're capable of serving even His Majesty. Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected of you? Can you tell different wines apart and that?
Of course. Who do you take me for?
All right. No need to get upset. Show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you and think up some good excuse. Clear?
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. I had a brand new one made. Here it is. I look like a prick in it. Hopefully it'll sit better on you. The main thing is, don't lose it before the assembly or get it covered in shit.
Thanks. I won't disgrace you, I promise.
You better not.
Come and take.
Hat! Furs! Ornament!
Fine wares. Come and take your pick.
Oh, fuck you. I'm telling you.
Will he go?
Dare stand against the devil? What?
Christ, pardon me. The finest wares, quality goods. Come and take a look. Quality goods.
Franta Cooldown sent me. I'm to stand in for him at the council assembly.
Tranter's not coming? What's wrong with him?
He got poisoned. Probably from food. He's writhing in agony. By turns, praying and cursing, spewing from both ends.
Oh, that's enough. All right. At least you're here. We can't be without a waiter here, when the king himself will need waiting on. So, let's have a look at you. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure. Here it is.
Everything's in order. Now, about your livery. You've got a waiter's cap, a tunic you have. Hose are good. It's a good thing you've got no steel on you. You need to be light on your feet to run around tables. Everything as it should be. Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
Well, I'll happily listen to any advice. I wouldn't want to foul things up.
I should certainly hope not. Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing and ready, and not get in anyone's way. In short, behave as if you're not there. But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour it for him on the double. You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel. You take one and go to their table and pour for them. White Tokaib or red monastery wine.
White or red, by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarjitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted, or otherwise it never reaches an end. We can't allow that to happen in the presence of the king.
All right. Sir Adam of Zarjitz stays dry.
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with lowered eyes. Don't look at him. And the most important thing?
Remember who wants what?
That too. But more importantly, do not disturb the councillors at their work. They have a lot to discuss. And in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, blind, and deaf.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants from you. No excuses, and provide everything that anyone wants from you. Understood?
Absolutely. I'm a waiter, after all. Not some street gossip monger.
Correct. And if you manage not to botch it up, you can even rise on the social ladder. Not just anyone can serve the King of Hungary, but you'll manage it, right?
I know everything I need to. I can do it.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole for the servants.
There are the pictures of wine. Hopefully I
Our
won't
current
splash anyone's
Waffen
shoes.
arsenal is a joke, and on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
Lad, a cup of red.
Getting at,
and don't you
Eldris?
skimp on me.
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbücher. Hand cannon. Can you believe it?
Come now, waiter.
Where
I
did
wanted
they
red.
get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott. It is eine Schande when outlaws
Come now,
have better
waiter.
weapons
I wanted
than
red.
the city garrison. And Herr König surely knows this
Thank
too.
you, waiter.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want to defend yourselves with a few
I fancy some
And who is it
Tokai.
you want to fight?
Refill,
Exactly.
boy.
The merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
Shut up! The king can
Hey,
arrive
where's
at
my
any moment.
white?
What if he heard you?
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right, Eldris. But where can we get the coin for better equipment?
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
We are more than familiar with the jämmerlich state of our armory. And the king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes?
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to
I
the
apologize,
realm with
sir.
his army.
Which
Then
one?
the Dörfler
Am I
will rise
speaking
up.
in Latin? I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty
Sir?
thinks about the matter. Maybe we can change his mind.
I can't believe this. Can't you tell red from white, waiter?
I'd like to report to the Honourable Council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or brothels?
Isn't it the same thing?
Another drop
So
of
the
wine.
cleanliness
Don't
of the
make me
city is
beg.
not what it should be. The current baths in the city fall far short of covering what
I apologise,
the citizens'
sir.
needs.
You're
Which
right.
wine?
Tokai. We do have the new
White.
baths in Hopbrink.
Are you deaf?
And Adam's old ones. But I hear the Hopbrink baths
Sir?
are more of a pigsty.
They still are a bit, but the
That's
quality
the
went
way.
downhill at Adams, too.
Good lad.
What? Pray tell. I thought you were a frequent customer there. Or has he grown tired of pampering you for free?
It's not about me at all. Our town's best interests are on my mind.
More wine,
Betty's
Master
baths are
Bailiff?
considered the town baths. But let's not be fooled.
What do you mean?
The tax brings in some money for the town, yes.
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
And while he's there, a man can shave and take...
Certainly, sir.
You know what?
I'll be right back.
Come back with it straight away, understood?
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great many people died needlessly.
Are you questioning God's plan? The Black Death had nothing to do with the bath, unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness going on in there.
Keeping the city clean
Whose
is
silver
important,
might this be?
but we don't have money to spare. Argue...
So, did you find it?
I did, Master Bailiff. Here it is.
Not so loud. Show it here. That's it. And now go back to your job.
Keep coming back to it.
A trifle. Do you ever walk the streets here? Sewage, rats, slop, and rubbish. The least we can do for the citizens is to provide them with a place to wash up.
What nonsense! Next, you'll want me to serve wine to everyone for free, too.
Why not? In Jerome Nas's earthly paradise, everything would be free.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Gentlemen, let's agree to disagree. What if the king heard us?
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way, at least until His Majesty
waiter,
honors us
pour
with
me
his
some
visit.
monastery wine.
And as we know, Gunslin absolutely hates him.
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well,
Sir?
I'm not sure what you're implying.
Horseshit!
Well,
You know full well. Everybody knows. He wiped the floor with you.
Compose yourself, Adam, and stop drinking. The king might come any time now.
That's right. Let's not burden the anointed monarch with such...
Me? Compose myself? Me?
Tokai, and a full cup.
I beg your pardon.
I demand that you...
Ruhe! Franz, please continue.
I'm speaking about the Rutard incident. You were there, weren't you?
Oh, that. Are they only just pressing the graves for their Tokai?
Sorted it out and everything's settled.
I apologise,
My
sir.
ears must be
Which
deceiving
one?
me.
Tokai!
Are you defending Rutard?
That's the white.
Sir?
Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard,
Thank
then we
you,
have
waiter.
a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like Rutard, true, but in this case it really was nothing.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause any
You there,
trouble.
lad.
He is
A cup of
sensible
bread.
enough not to draw
don't you
attention to
skimp on
himself
me.
while the king is here.
That's true. Because if we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him,
Sir?
and soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first. Well,
thank
God knows what he wants to tell us.
If nothing happened, there's no point in dwelling on it. Let's move on.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. I could understand it with mercenaries, students, and other scum of all kinds, but city councillors?
Be specific.
Hey, boy!
Fucker.
A full cap
Are
of
you blaming one of
wine.
us?
Ah, and look who spoke first.
First of all, it wasn't a duel. It was supposed to be an honorable
Sir?
combat. And I didn't even take part in it.
And that's the only reason
around
you're
me.
still here on the
Vanish,
council
you hear me?
and not in the pillory.
If you want to blame somebody, you should point the finger at the youngster here who's...
Excuse me?
Ah, never
Hey.
mind.
Waiter!
I suspect the gentleman from
Refill,
the city
sir.
sword
Do you think I
fighting
come to the
school
council
brought this
just to
custom
guzzle
to
wine?
us.
Come
It's
here.
now run by the German Menhard.
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you disappear for a little while...
All right. I'll get them.
I knew I could count on you. While you're at it, count how many figures on the mural have wings.
But why?
Because I'm bored, and because I told you. Get on with it.
They're apparently settling accounts their own way. We'll soon be the laughing stock of the whole town.
You can rest assured the whole town
That was
is
easy
already
enough,
laughing
and he
at us
wanted me to
all
count
day
the
long.
winged figures.
So what if they have one more reason?
My words exactly. The town council is squabbling constantly at the Emperor Charles, and no one is left unscathed.
And you, a councillor, let people throw dirt on our work?
If I threw out everyone who complains over a beer, I'd soon be out of customers.
Ah, the hell with it. We'll never get anywhere like this. Why waste our time?
You'll answer to me. So, let's see what you've got for me.
I found your gloves, sir.
Really? Let's see them. And did you count those winged figures?
I counted 16, sir.
And did you count all the monsters and animals?
Oh, I thought you meant only the angels.
Go back to serving wine, blockhead.
There's the eternal dispute over the cathedrals. The building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers, right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery, and they are going to make a royal mining city. Why can't we build faster?
Hey, waiter!
Hire more craftsmen,
Pour me
start with
some
night
monastery
shifts.
wine.
Because those so-called craftsmen are a band of parasites. You pay them, they come late, or report sick.
Sir?
And if they do come, their work is shit, and you have
You,
to pay
lad.
someone else to
You
put
look
it
familiar
right.
to me.
It's
Have
a
we met?
waste
Well,
of
naturally.
time. I tell
go
you,
to your tavern
a
almost
waste
every day.
of time.
Really?
Adam, don't
Then you
interrupt
must have
proceedings
decent
with
wages
your
to be
drunken
able to visit the
ranting.
best tavern in town
You
regularly.
are in the right. And as for you, Enderlin, haven't you noticed there's a war going on? Are the experts from far off supposed to work in the city under siege?
Besides,
I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Oh, you do?
Waiter,
Do you?
pour me red
And
wine.
what would that be?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your own altar there?
So what if I would?
Hold your horses, gentlemen. That space in the
Sir?
side nave is mine.
Then hell freezes over, my friend. Your
It's
place
you?
is at least 2 steps
I see
behind
you
mine.
come up in
A
the world.
swordsmith
From a
dares to
bathhouse boy
insult
to
me?
a waiter.
Ha!
You'll go a long
I
way.
think not.
Worthy councillors, we are not on the marketplace to argue like fishwives. The construction of the cathedral is proceeding slowly, and, as Jerome says, there is a war, and there is neither money nor craftsmen. But with our joint powers, we will
full cup of
finish the
monastery
building
wine.
to the glory of God and our city, even if it takes 100 years. What is next in the order of business?
Sir?
Thank you, waiter.
I'm telling you, something is being planned.
Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Azonal Juchek Össe, Alegiop Katonaikat, ich Kelkinek Utra.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Like this plan of fights!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujit's parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Who's that French fellow you brought here from Malashov?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, Knows everything and has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg, and you know how that went. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
How does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they're keeping mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man too, so you should have something in common.
I wouldn't be too sure. But I suppose I can try. What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests, eh?
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rabosh.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old man as long as I can.
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
God be with you,
I'm glad you finally accepted my invitation.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin, a friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry. We don't know each other.
Baron Vauquelin-Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. How come almost nobody here knows you?
I am operating, as they say. Incognito. My great benefit is my strong connection with the French court. There, everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia, I'm still building my reputation, slowly, but surely.
How did you end up imprisoned in Malashov?
C'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of Kuttenberg, and only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate turn of events.
That needs some explanation. What unfortunate turn of events?
Oh, misère. It is clear you have never been to war.
So, be so kind as to enlighten me.
When they broke through the defense, I ended up in captivity. It was only due to my acquaintances in a court that I escaped execution.
Oh. I thought it was Henry who saved your neck.
My neck was not at risk in Malashov. I may have still been a prisoner with my personal freedom restricted, but they never broke my spirit.
You say you're a poet. How about a verse or two to amuse us?
Jamais. Is poetry nothing but a fuss to you? Is a poet a gesture for amusement? I think not. To recite, I require the proper mood. And besides, few here would understand me.
Where have you been on your travels? Have you seen the ocean?
But of course! I was born by the sea. If you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant caravan all the way to the Ottoman Empire. And if you are interested in my greatest deed, then That was perhaps saving the life of the King of France.
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope, personally?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX when I was sojourning in Rome. A pleasant fellow.
So, how are things, my boy? Oh, what can I say? I inherited a house in the village from my childless uncle. Are you yanking my pizzle? You inherit an house, and all you do is complain?
Because it's a run-down hovel full of junk. My uncle collected...
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here. And yet...
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common. And we are both a little on unfamiliar ground here. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Gutenberg. And this is Samuel, my aide.
Who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this time of need. And why would they not stare when you are frowning so?
Are you looking for friends among us?
Let us say rather that we have chosen a side. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. The whole land is on the brink of destruction. You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and quickly leave.
Everything in good time, Samuel. We have just arrived, after all.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by God.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries ourselves.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry? That messenger of Radzik Copula?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very good start.
Or maybe you'll get to know each other better. He should be coming here later, by the way. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait, a blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the name of Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world. For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? You should have taken care of me. But instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry, and raised him as his own, on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Kobila, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that, there will be more suitable times.
Good health.
L'chaim.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess. Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
I'm not going to die.
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you.
It depends what it's all about.
A little delicate diplomacy. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain shortcomings?
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
When Sigismund sees that, he'll be off to Hungary all the sooner. At a gallop.
Exactly. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield.
That he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
I'll help you. What exactly should I do?
I'll give you 3 names. Bocek of Kunstadt, Hamann Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
What if it doesn't work?
I refuse to even consider that outcome. Because it would mean slow, but certain defeat for all of us.
Why me, of all people?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to talk, and you're not just out for your own good. You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why I know I can count on you both. There aren't many like you two left.
Tell me a bit more about those people, so I know who I'm dealing with.
Certainly. Who do you want to start with?
Bocek of Kunstadt. I know the name, but I can't quite place him.
That's just the thing. He's got massive estates, great influence, but he holds back. He doesn't play the big game, because he doesn't like to take risks. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a pair of oxen will hold him back.
Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor?
He still is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his days in the council are numbered. But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers. And that's why we need him.
Anna of Waldstein. The widow of that rich mine owner. What was his name?
Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not surprised you forgot.
I was quite surprised to see her here. Assemblies like this are more of a...
A male affair? So far, Godwins, so far. Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances. She's got claws, she knows how to do her sums, and she certainly has no love lost for Sigismund.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband's money, of course.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her, and that it was thanks to her that he died, too.
I'll get on it then. Wish me luck.
I wish us both luck. Before the day is over, the die will be cast.
Success to our plans.
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek, and he's a great lord.
That's hard to believe.
Martin likes to exaggerate. He was talking about the sorry nags even when they belong to someone else.
Nags? What nags? These are the best thoroughbreds east of Prague.
I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Pah, even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, well. We have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without a by your leave. Or to harass my guests some more?
I want to have a word with Older.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up then. What are you doing here?
I came with a delegation from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Is this a joke?
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopric to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
You're exaggerating, like you've always done.
Me? Exaggerating? You're the one who turned my home into a house of ill repute. Your whores wandering around as if they owned the place.
Oh, actually, anything fun was strictly banned under your roof. But maybe you ought to try it yourself sometime. Then maybe you wouldn't be such a bitter old grouch.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough!
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
I'm not happy about it, but I accept. This isn't how I imagined my first meeting with my brother.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back.
What's wrong with your legs?
Hey,
arm lower.
Who taught you that? Not bad for a priest. Did they teach you that in the seminary?
What the...
That was sneaky.
Cover your right side! You've got a gap there I could drive a cart through! You're a dead man! You know that!
Cut the bullshit and fight!
Swing with your whole arm, not just your wrist! Look in my eyes, not at my sword! Stand firm! Otherwise the first strike will put you on your arse!
Greetings to you, friend.
My God. Where did you learn to wield a sword like that? Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer. But you could teach sword fighting in a school.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well, I apologize for going off like that. I had to, so that...
So Father would be satisfied. I know. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
Not at all. I remember him the same since I was a nipper. When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days? He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed until they threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Alder?
Aye. The outcome of this war depends on it.
That sounds very important, considering you and Alder are both pretty small players. After your encounter with Father, it won't be easy to get to Alder. Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father even more.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me and tell me what it's all about.
All right, then. You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible, and he's no fool.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
And that's exactly why we mustn't push too hard.
Sir Bocek, I need to speak with you for a moment.
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips and someone comes along to put a flea in his ear. Yobs comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're all jostling to win me over for him.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea how to improve it.
Does that improvement include a few thousand men-at-arms? If not, you can go to the devil with it.
A few thousand men-at-arms has a convincing argument. And 100 horsemen on top. Only in order to get them, we need coin.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
Are we not on the same side?
We are, but an alliance is of no use if it doesn't also guarantee safety.
Of course. Once it comes to protecting property, ideals go out the window.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. If you were in my position, you'd think differently. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord blessed me with a large family. I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund?
My guarantee is called Yitka. She's my niece. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
I believe Liechtenstein is single.
And an uncertain party. Besides, he's inconvenient for Sigismund. Yitka could end up being a pawn to blackmail both of us.
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster still.
What's wrong with him? He's young, he's handsome, women are fighting over him. Yitka will like him, and he'll give her a whole bunch of children.
And to half the wenches in his domain, too, eh? On the other hand, the lords of Lipa have a good reputation, and Hanush can always be relied on, despite his temper. Maybe it's not such a bad idea.
I'll convey your offer to Lord Capon. If he agrees, we can celebrate our alliance.
I don't care what the young lord thinks. Hanush is the one to decide. If he agrees, I'll be happy to support your plan.
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to save the kingdom. Things have come to a pretty pass.
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop dilly-dallying and go and tell Hanush.
Take a look at that. A nightingale surrounded by hawks.
Job's the nightingale. He looks more like a wet hen to me.
It's quite unusual to see him cornered like this.
I'll bet my last groschen he's setting the stage for his final performance.
Sir Hanush, I bring happy tidings.
You do? Let's hear it then.
Young Lord Capon is going to get married.
If he's got some impoverished noble's daughter pregnant, I'll have his hide. I'm not going to support some bastard.
You misunderstood my meaning. I was the one who arranged the betrothal. I mean, with your blessing.
You arranged a marriage for my ward? Just like that? With who?
With the niece of Sir Bocek, Lord of Kunstadt. Her name's Yitka.
Bocek of Kunstadt? The Bocek of Kunstadt? Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could make me the abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
Cheers!
Cheers to you, and to your parleying skills.
Sir Bocek, your niece Yitka can start preparing for her wedding.
So Hanush agreed, without reservations.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of Kunstadt.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink. What do you say?
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yitka and the unhappy Lord Capon.
Here's to a good bargain.
I've got some good news and some bad news for you.
The bad news is there's hardly any females in this whole damned place. There's some old bat standing there with two young girls, but she watches over them like a mother hen. So at least tell me the good news.
You're going to get married.
Good one. Is she at least pretty?
I don't know. I've never seen her.
You're really a barrel of laughs, Godwin. Wait till Hanush hears this. Now, enough nonsense. Let's have a drink To your health and my freedom.
To your health. God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to ask of you.
God be with you. What would that be?
Your diplomatic support. And your money.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money for?
Margrave Yob's plan has some gaps, milady. We need to gather enough resources to...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on his own?
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out what Liechtenstein is after.
Hit the nail on the head again, Mom. You're well informed.
I am rarely mistaken.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine. And beneficial deals.
Who did you learn from? In my experience, women usually learn other skills.
I acquired the basics from my husband. God rest his soul. And the rest I learnt quickly, as soon as others started sniffing around his estate. So, to the point. What is it that Liechtenstein wants from me?
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to parley more effectively with Sigismund.
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help? Why should I, of all people, take the risk?
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade. And if you were to take part in our plan...
Then I'd be helpful to you on two fronts. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good reason. Perhaps a favor in return.
Do you have something in particular in mind?
Well, one of the guests here has something that shouldn't get into the wrong hands.
Who's that?
Harman Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him, I would support your proposal.
Have you fallen out with the town councillor?
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives from the House of Bartosz are behind it all. They're disappointed that I dared outlive my husband, and the fact that I'm handling his estates makes their hair stand on end.
And the papers I'm supposed to plant on Alder?
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating ones disappeared without a trace, it would arouse suspicion.
All right, I'll help you. Or at least I'll give it a try.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the shed on the outer courtyard. Bring them to me, and put these there instead. But watch yourself. Odorin's groom has eyes everywhere.
What brings you here? Don't you want to leave?
A little misunderstanding involving a big pile of counterfeit groschen.
How big enough? Big enough for that bastard Istvan to raise a small army. He caused us a shitload of trouble.
I heard about that Hungarian Cossack. He was... dangerously clever, and as slippery as a bag of eels.
Even though Jobst is right, I'm in favor of decisive action. We can no longer afford to wait.
As if I didn't have enough on my plate already. Like my ward, who I can't leave unattended for a few days without him damn near getting executed.
Oh, go easy on him. It wasn't his fault. And you said you forgive him.
But for the last time, those shenanigans of his have got to stop.
Ah, young Lord Capon is an adult now.
But he doesn't act like it, damn it.
So marry him off.
What?
Find him a wife. That'll straighten him out in no time.
Well, now that you mention it...
He'll sire a few brats and he'll be as tame as a lamb. And happy.
An interesting idea, don't you think, Hanush? Maybe he really needs a firm woman's hand.
Don't you start too. Am I supposed to find him a bride? On top of everything?
No burger's daughter, but them merchants would bleed you dry before you could say dowry.
I've got those papers from Alder for you.
Quiet! You don't have to announce it to everyone.
My lady, with all the clamor going on here, I can hardly hear my own thoughts. Here they are.
You're more capable than I expected. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. And now you're part of the bargain.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words and money.
Thank you, noble lady. God will...
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our bargain, Godwin.
How could I refuse a toast with such a fine lady? To your health, Lady Anna.
And to the success of our efforts.
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblets to the successful conclusion of the negotiations.
Is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwin of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bocek of Kunstadt will support our cause.
Both of them? Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So if you'll excuse me, my lords?
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord, but we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes! And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the Balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
Yes! The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslaus, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas!
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wenceslas' side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rebel get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants! Chicken shits! Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
And drunks! Give them hell! Lazy fools, the lot of them.
How dare you?
Some of you are even swelling right here in the city council meeting. This is unbelievable.
Remove this swill pot from the hall immediately.
I'm telling the truth. This whole council is a farce. The whole city knows it.
Lord of Sargitz, your insolence just cost you your place on the council, and a month in the dungeon.
But...
Hopefully that'll be enough for him to sober up. And if not, put him in the pillory for a while, bailiff.
I'll see to it as soon as the council is over, Your Majesty.
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore placed the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt, was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you were harsh, but rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he is not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good year. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries? They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobst does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities, and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp's nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Marquardt. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in a land ruled by a good king. You did a good job, waiter. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the consul was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Raposh. Alderin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Oderin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosh will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine.
No, we shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Raposh falls, others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
To bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
Christ praise. Greetings to you.
Friend?
And?
How'd you like a wine, Chevalier?
The art of winemaking has a long tradition in La Belle France. Recipes are passed on from father to son, and each generation brings them to perfection. I myself was practically raised on wine. How many I have tasted. Even the French royal court took note of my refined taste. The king himself had wine delivered for his table according to my advice.
So you're not too keen on our stuff?
Comment dire? Let us say you still have much work ahead. If you try hard, you may have some decent wine to celebrate the second coming of Christ.
Baron Vaku Voku.
Filled with grease. A roast was calling out to me, begging to be eaten.
Whatever. They got by without us so far. No
You'll be fine.
You in need of something, my well-oiled friend?
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. As they say, all's well that ends well. So, to brighter tomorrows.
Touching.
Come now. What's become of your poetic soul?
I never had one.
Truly? Not even a little?
Not a bit. I'm just a cynical old pragmatist.
In that case, in quite simple and pragmatic terms, the wine has run out.
Fuck! I've got a tongue like a slice of weak old bread after all that gabbing.
Well, get something wet for us then.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs, he can't make it as far as the keg.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father surely has something better stored away. I had my eye on him all evening. He had pictures brought from somewhere for himself and his closest friends, and left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one of those pictures for us, eh? I'm sure you can manage that.
You can bet on it. I've got a nose for booze.
I don't doubt it. Get sniffing quick.
There wouldn't be no war.
Don't complain. I haven't eaten so well in a long time.
You can drink and stuff your craw anywhere.
I am not sure. Were we? I have a feeling I forgot.
With grief. The roast was calling.
I will charge
to be eaten.
I couldn't.
Having a good time?
It's a fucking bore. These old farts here have no idea what fun is.
Well, what are you missing? There's wine, food, even a few females worth the same.
I'd rather have a game of dice. Or a good punch-up.
Well, let's have a game then. But for what?
For coin. What else?
Playing for coins, I'm bored. You got anything else to wager?
Well, I might have something. But you'll have to bet at least 20 groschen against it.
And what might that be?
Let's keep it a surprise. You won't be sorry, though.
You can take that and stuff it.
All right. Keep your hair on.
Still can't wait for that ginger cunt to finally fuck off.
Ah, strong words. I thought your Alicia was brown-eyed, though.
Sigismund, you twat. I love my Alicia.
The roast was calling out to me, begging to be eaten.
I couldn't. Then we'll have to discuss it.
Having a good time? Well, what do you mean? Well, let's have a...
For coin.
Playing for... And what...
Let's keep...
What the hell? It'll be fun at least.
You bet it will.
God be with you, my friend.
Greetings to you too.
God be with you, my friend. G'day, g'day.
God be with you.
God be with you, my friend.
God be with you.
God be with you.
Greetings. God be with you.
You can dip that rotten carrot in lard and ram it up your dry arse.
I was just having a laugh with you. Lighten up a bit, eh? But if you don't like your prize, hand it over here.
Here you are. Not much use to me.
Ah, you've got no imagination. It's not for eating. but it still has uses. Like I could shove it down the back of the cousin's shirt.
And let's drink to the future of Lady Yitka. May her marriage to Lord Capon bring her happiness.
They're young. They'll have plenty of time to cultivate that happiness.
Greetings to you too.
Well, the groom isn't looking too happy at the moment.
How come you're still here, sir? Weren't you supposed to travel with Sir Hanush? Raise an army, prepare a wedding feast and all that?
All hail Jobst. He sorted out things here nicely. He got my money for a start, and that's more than I wanted to give him. But you know how it goes. Give them a finger. I explained to the Margrave that I'm not going anywhere, and I sent my captain with him. He's still young and full of piss and vinegar. I'm too old and fond of my comfort.
Did you at least discuss with Hanush where the wedding will take place?
Nothing to discuss. It'll be at our castle Potsdam, of course. It's the pride of our family. We can fit in 3 times more people than here, and that still wouldn't be much.
Ah, but there are 2 castles in Rattay. I'd bet my right arm old Hanush will want to have the wedding there.
What? In Rattay? Well, I ought to look into that then.
But deal with him yourself, though. I won't be your gent's messenger anymore.
I wouldn't worry about it if I were you, my lady.
It's easy for you to say. You don't have to listen to it day in, day out.
A little gossip. You act like you don't know the world of the lords.
Lords and ladies. You either ignore us or slander us.
We?
Good evening, my esteemed lady. I haven't yet had the opportunity to make your acquaintance.
No matter. I know who you are. Although Martin hardly spoke of you, from what I heard, I could conjure up a pretty good picture.
Would you kindly introduce your 2 companions?
This is Lady Christina, second wife of Lord Binic of Nostitz. She's standing in for him here today.
Nice to meet you, sir.
How come your husband didn't come?
Because he's been rotting for nearly a year in the king's captivity.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mom. I pray that God shall return him to you soon.
I've been praying for it since the day I got word of his captivity. Perhaps worldly powers will come to our aid once the promised army turns up. One hopes.
What's your opinion of the outcome of today's assembly?
That it's about time. Although at the onset it looked like everyone here would carry on arguing like fishwives at the market. But in the end, it seems the agreement arrived at will bear fruit.
It's been a pleasure, my lady.
And this here is Lady Helena of Dvorets, my niece and ward.
God be with you, sir.
Please excuse her. This is her first time at such a large gathering.
You're fortunate, miss. Your aunt sets you a good example. And I'm sure she won't leave you to the mercy of the gentleman present.
Yes, Lady Matilda has always kept a close eye on me.
And I know what I'm doing. Don't think I'm not aware of how some fellows look at you.
Are you well acquainted with our hosts?
Only a little. Sir Martin Oderin and his son have been to visit at Lady Matilda's on several occasions.
They come to me for advice on selecting horses. If it hadn't been for me, that mule he's bragging about to everyone here would have cost him twice as much.
It was a pleasure to meet you. No offense, man. But whatever picture you paint of me, I have reason enough to believe it's mistaken.
Indeed. So the stories of how in your youth you used to drag a different chambermaid to your bed every night is nothing but slander?
And I also heard that you once fell drunk into the trench in front of the fortress, horse and all.
All right, I confess to that one. But nothing happened to either me or the horse.
And is it not true that one of your paramours made off with your late mother's jewelry?
We are all sinners, Ma. And besides, that was 20 years ago. A person can change a lot in that time.
Unquestionably. My husband is living proof of it. No more than I.
Is your husband here too? I don't believe I've had the honor.
You won't find him here. He stayed at home in our fortress. He suffers from gout and doesn't like long journeys.
Or any journeys, for that matter. Even where the king goes on his own 2 feet, my husband has to be carried by 3 servants.
All his life he gorged himself on meat, pastries, and wine, and now he's paying for it.
It's been a pleasure, dear ladies.
Not a bad one, but it's more suited for a ride in the woods or a hunt. And no use at all for battle.
You don't need an expensive horse for battle.
Greetings!
Just the one I can run straight.
Ah, you're wrong. In a battle, life depends on it. If my luck keeps up, it'll be over soon.
You're amusing.
Yes.
It needs a bit more.
Good day. What would you like?
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. But are you busy?
What do you think? A fortress full of hungry mouths and half of them noble lords accustomed to all kinds of debauchery.
I haven't eaten so well in a long time. Lord Odoran was fortunate in his choice of cook.
He didn't have to choose me. My old ma spent her whole life in this kitchen, and my grandmother before her. God rest them both.
Wait, you're Kvieta's daughter, Madlenka.
It's been a long time since anyone has called me by that name. I was afraid you'd forgotten me.
You haven't changed at all.
But I have. And you've changed too. You left a haughty young pup, and now you return...
An old dog.
Not at all. The years have been kind to you.
And how have you been all this time? Did my father give you a hard time?
Not really. When he remarried and had another son, his mood improved quite a bit. I also got married. And soon I had my little Elishka running around under my feet in the kitchen. Young Sir Christopher used to come and play with her sometimes. He was always a very nice lad.
And your husband?
Kuba? He died when Elishka was just a baby. He got bitten by a dog, and the wound festered. It was quick.
God grant him eternal life. Tell me more about Elishka.
She's a big girl now. She's a maid here for now, but I'm sure they'll find her a better job soon.
Well, aren't you worried about her? A young girl doesn't have it easy in life.
Even as a little girl, she used to beat up the boys in the village. I put up with all sorts of things without a peep, but not her.
Where might I find the really good wine here?
Why? You don't like the stuff from the kegs?
It's not for me. One of the distinguished guests asked for it.
Aha. If you go down the cellar stairs, you'll see the pictures lined up on the table. It's Lord Odoran's best. He's drunk plenty of it himself today.
The rat'll be good, I hope.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Ruthard. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you feed it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. Wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
The surrounding crystal. He can't make it on his own.
You're mine! I'm dead!
Right. Pass him on the head.
One step back! Stand your ground! There's more!
Right on the nugget.
Bleeding like a haven't had enough yet! We're gonna be able to take another one like that. Yeah! True blood! You got it!
Jesus! The surrounding Christopher! He can't make it on his own.
Are you going to get to the top?
You're nearly not this blocker!
Next!
Stand back!
Stand your ground!
Leave him alone!
No mercy!
Come on, scum!
Don't spare it!
You hit the button!
Nice strike! Someone!
Watch out! I'm going to finish you. Drive those horses out! This is how we fight!
I'll hack your ass off!
Hey, no one's hurting! Fine to give up! I'm getting waiting!
Leave now. Quick! Gah!
Don't spare it!
Whoa!
Nice strike! I'll hack your ass off!
He's had it!
You got it!
True blood! Yeah!
Here it is!
He's had it!
God sees you!
You got it! It was you!
That was a close shave.
A little too close. Oh, fuck me.
Did my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin!
How did you get...
Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone alright?
Well, some are, some aren't.
They captured Oder and Kunstad and Rutard. And they took Alder and Conrad of Vector away too.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Yobs long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but... not everyone was so lucky.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you, but von Bergov's people beat me here.
You knew he was coming.
Markvart bragged about it to Sigismund, and Sigismund promised to make him Lord of Raborsch in return.
When he sees what von Bergau did with it, he'll shit himself.
You find that funny? Do you like watching those foreigner dogs rampaging around and slaughtering innocents? Who else has to die before we do something about it?
Tell us about it. We were neck deep in corpses before you bothered to turn up.
Well, not you.
Fuck you, Jan. I'd trade places with you in a heartbeat, trust me.
We've lost a lot of allies. We'll have trouble finding new ones. They'll be afraid to even peep against Sigismund.
What? Are you surprised? Look around. Sigismund showed everyone what's coming for all who resist him.
Is there anything we can do?
Definitely not right now. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, get the hell out of here. Then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his army.
If I survive the journey... Oh, God's teeth. That stupid nag nearly broke me in half.
The king announced one more thing at the council. He asked the councillors to ransack the Jewish quarter. That is, he ordered it, more like.
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people there. They could reveal a lot.
The city rabbi is sitting upstairs in the hall. At least he's safe here.
They're our allies. We have to help them.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. I can just see them all jumping to their feet and rush to save their poor Jews.
Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to talk to you anyway.
He's here too?
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible. And tell Liechtenstein too.
Anyway, we've got work to do. Godwin?
Give me a moment. I'll go and see Christopher first. Guard the walls until morning. If anyone shows up, I want to know. My temper's horrible.
So many dead.
Good to see you both. Alive.
Oh, come on. You know I've walked out of much worse scrapes laughing.
They could well have killed us all. If it hadn't been for you, Henry, von Berkhoff could have caused a lot more harm.
Von Aulitz surprised even Sigismund with that. You should have seen the look on the king's face when he told him.
Well, thank God we all survived.
Well, not all of us. They killed Lady Anna of Volstein and many other nobles. It was slaughter.
And they captured our closest and most influential allies. Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side. We're stuck.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Our plans are ruined.
Get a grip. Whining doesn't help anyone.
You're right. When I drink too much wine, I get overwhelmed with self-pity. Nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get much worse.
Actually, it might. And very soon. At Sigismund's council, an order was given to ransack the Jewish quarter.
God's wounds! We need to get back to the city and warn them.
I'm going with you.
Out of the question. Do you want to end up imprisoned again? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Shishka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join.
What do you make of this Brabant fellow?
He's unquestionably a remarkable knight, that Vattelin. He rambles on a lot, though. My head nearly burst listening to him sometimes. Although it was better than being stuck there alone. Otherwise, he seems to me like a bold and, well, if a little...
I honestly can't stand him. He's as full of tales as an old fishwife, and half of them sound very unlikely indeed.
No one's perfect. As for his constant chatter, you have to learn how to shut him up, and ideally not get locked up in one room with him. On the other hand, when Sigismund invaded, he could have easily just stepped aside and kept his nose out of it, and he'd still be sitting pretty in Miskovitz. Instead, he did the opposite, and defended the town. Give him a chance to prove himself. You'll see for yourself.
I'll believe it when I see it. What happened when von Berghoff hauled you off after the Nabokov battle?
It was a dreadful journey. Jesus, don't even remind me. It was a bit better in Malashov. Apart from being locked up, of course.
Did anything happen along the way?
No, but it took ages to get to Malashov. 4 or 5 days in that god-awful cart. I was traveling with von Aulitz's minions. They hauled me in one of the wagons. They treated my wounds a bit, but I was still in a really bad way. After that battle and all.
What did they do with you in Malashov?
Nothing much, actually. They took care of my wounds, and then stuck me in a room with Brabant. But they treated me decently, as befits a noble. Von Berghoff came asking questions a couple of times, but that was about it. Only I almost went mad from being cramped in that damned room. It's a good thing you got me out of there.
What was the problem with the room?
That I couldn't get out of there. You saw yourself when you came for me, didn't you? It's just that since Nabokov, when they shot the tower right down on my head and I was stuck there. Well, since then, I don't feel well in cramped spaces. Actually, I never did. I always preferred to be outdoors. But since Nabokov, it's worse than ever. I had a feeling the roof would fall on my head again and I'd be buried alive.
I understand. It's a bit awkward for you that the nobility lives in castles.
That's a fact. Once I get my hands on my estates, I'll build a new castle that only has huge rooms and lots of spacious courtyards. And above all, no secret passages.
Great. I'm really looking forward to this new castle of yours.
You can be the castellan or something. Don't worry, I won't forget you. I'll even have a fort built so you feel right at home.
What did von Burgov want from you?
Just the usual courtesies. The captivity of nobles has to observe certain formalities, you know? It's not like they can just throw you in some hole. They behaved fairly respectfully, but of course he was fishing for information about Radzig and Hanush and especially Jobst. What they're planning, how many men they have on the field, who else they're negotiating with and that.
And what did you tell him?
Nothing that he didn't already know. I played as dumb as the village idiot. I only told him they sent us with that message and discussed the rest when we were gone.
And did he swallow it?
I think he suspected I was bluffing a bit. And then he tried to loosen my tongue by letting me go hungry for a while. But he soon gave up when he saw he was getting nothing more from me.
My word. Nice work keeping him at bay. They didn't let you out at all. But you were in that room for ages.
No. They let us walk around the fortress a bit. We even went out for a ride twice, but they watched us like hawks. Not a chance of escape. But most of the time we were in that room. Like I say, I'm really glad you got me out of that hole.
But the main thing is, you're alive and kicking. And back with us.
Indeed.
Punishment or not? It's as greedy as a pig. In it is. Leave it alone, the two of you. Now we're in it with them anyway.
They didn't even spare the animals.
My Tempest lost his life too. They put enough arrows in him to knock down 3 lightning.
What about your horse?
I don't know. I saw him bolting out the gate. Someone set his mane and tail on fire. He survived. Maybe he'll come back. Or maybe he's frozen already.
One construct captured, the other almost crushed. What have they done?
What if the old lord doesn't come back?
Then we'll have a young one. He's not a little boy anymore. Soon he'll get married and have a bunch of children.
We can only hope.
Should not come here.
You did. But I still insist that it was necessary.
Sam, I need to have a word with you.
Uh-huh. That makes 2 of us.
Just tell him. You may not get another chance.
I talked to Godwin. He said you know each other?
What did you talk about? Me?
We talked about your stepfather, Martin.
Why? Neither of you knew him.
It's true, I did not. But I tried many times. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? I recognized the Master's symbol engraved there. Well, the thing is, I am Martin's son.
What? Pa's son? How did...
Yes, his son. That is, his bastard son.
Are you sure? We look the same age, and Martin lived with me and Ma as long as I can remember.
When I was born, he was already long gone. Maybe we are not even a year apart.
And what does that make us then?
Nothing. Proof perhaps that both your god and mine have a sense of humor. You know, all my life, I thought if I did not give a shit about that man, it would be easier. But now that I know I will never see him, it troubles me that I did not get to know him.
I can tell you about him if you want. But now is not the right time. This is not the end. We have to go to Kuttenberg, now. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property of people in the Jewish quarter.
The king has approved Xere.
He's no king to me. He's a fucking whoreson.
What's a Gezerah?
That is hard to explain.
Nonsense. It is as clear as day. Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent and often defenseless. Ransack their houses and divide the loot. And all that with the king's blessing.
This is what we were afraid of. But we did not expect Sigismund to be in such a hurry. We need to get back into the city and get the people out, quick, before it begins. Will you come with us, Henry? Every man counts.
I'll come. And Liechtenstein already knows about it too.
Very well. We should get going right away.
Let's not waste time.
Thank God you're all right. On the way here, I saw Sigismund horsemen and feared the worst.
Kubienka? What brings you here?
Well, I heard you were having some kind of a feast here, so I came to grab a bit of meat. And I see, instead of that, you have a massacre here.
Well, the real massacre is yet to come if we don't do something fast. We have to get to Kuttenberg. Can we borrow the wagon you arrived on?
But of course. I borrowed it too, if you know what I mean, but,
Could you stop blabbering already? We don't have the time.
Easy, Ingele. And you, sir, if you can, come with us and help us.
All right. But could you please tell me what the fuck is going on?
I'll explain to you on the way. Time is running out.
Are you coming too, Sir John?
Of course.
Let's go then.
Burekata Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam.
Peresh, can we go any faster?
Settle down, son. If you must keep your tongue busy, then use it to pray.
Would you tell me what the fuck is going on already?
Sigismund ordered an attack on the Jewish quarter. We need to get everyone out of there fast.
Bloody hell. I just got healed up so nicely today.
Oh, That is just great. My mother's life is in the hands of a drunkard.
Don't worry. We'll save your mother.
And everyone else too. Don't forget that.
You seem to care an awful lot about these people, sir.
Are you surprised? It's all my fault. If they weren't helping me...
That droid of Sigismund, may his name be erased, would have found some other excuse to get rid of us.
Look, it's not that I don't feel sorry for you, but don't you think maybe we could make the horses go a little faster? At this pace, we won't make it there in a week.
Samuel, how... What was the story with your mother and Martin?
Do you really want to talk about this right now?
It may be the last chance we get. We could both be dead in a while.
All right. But like I said, I never actually knew Martin. He once came to Kuttenberg and fell in love with my mother. But she is the daughter of a rabbi. Obviously, she could not marry a goy.
And tonight, you will see why.
If you want, Mummy will surely tell you more. If we can get there in time.
Then we better hurry up.
All right. Schnell! Schnell!
What's the matter? Why are we stopping?
We will walk from here. We cannot drive right into those murderers' arms.
But how do we get into the town then?
We will go through Sheol.
There are many abandoned mine shafts under the town. One of them ends here.
Won't it collapse on our heads?
We'll find out soon enough.
Follow me.
What a blessing. It is to have found the passageway.
I would be happy.
Killed our savior.
What did you just say?
Nothing, I'm just blabbering.
I dare you to say that again. Loud and clear.
You know what, sir? Just ignore me and be glad I'm here. And you up front, pick it up a little kurva. My arse is getting numb.
Nah, not now. I have to go and see Liechtenstein.
We should split up here. Me and the rabbi will go this way to the shul. We have to take the Torah and warn everyone.
What about us?
You keep going straight ahead and then to the left. You'll get right to the King Solomon Tavern.
gather up all the secret documents and wait for us. Shouldn't someone come with you, just in case? How about Kubyenka here? Henry and I can handle it.
Well, if you insist.
Was that all the contempt you could muster up?
Well, good luck. We'll see you up there. Follow me. Hopefully we'll find it quickly. I left a stack of my papers in the tavern. And if they fall into Sigismund's hands, people in other towns will die too.
How can a few pieces of parchment be that important? And what do they contain, anyway?
Nothing very pleasant for the most part. Who hates who? Who could be blackmailed with what? Who's hiding where and why? In short, nothing I can afford to lose. Hopefully everything will be all right at the tavern. My stash is locked away, and Samuel's friends are guarding the place. But who knows what the situation is like in the streets now.
Are you afraid?
Me? Do you have any idea how many times I've had to run from a burning town or deal with a hired assassin?
More than once, I reckon.
A lot more, I can tell you. But I admit, I was afraid every single time. Damn it.
What's the matter?
The door leading up to the tavern is open. Samuel's men wouldn't have left it like this. Somebody else must have got in.
I'll go upstairs and see if anyone is still there.
I hope so. If they took anything from down here, they mustn't get out alive. I'll gather up my things in the meantime. I'll meet you outside the tavern.
Good idea. I knew a bloke who tried that.
And what happened to him?
I don't know, actually. I saw him go to Eric's tent to give him a piece of his mind, but never saw him come out.
Bugger this. Not a damn thing here. If we go back empty-handed, Eric will give us a bollocking again. Damn it.
But it'll have to be searched, otherwise Eric will flay us alive.
You want to try me?
Baruch Hashem, Henry. You're all right.
Sam, You're back already? How does it look outside?
A few of the cutthroats got in over the walls, but we dealt with them. But there are more outside the gate.
4 of them were here in the tavern too.
Fortunately, they didn't take anything important. But your friends paid for it with their lives.
What?
I'm so sorry. If it's any consolation, Henry here has already taken care of those cutthroats.
But they didn't look like they just came to the tavern by chance. Eric must have sent them. What about your mother? Is she all right?
She is, thank God. I told her to get ready, and we would come for her right away.
I'm really sorry about your friends. We got here too late.
There was nothing you could do. Benavis Amardes. This Eric is really pissing me off. I've never laid eyes on him, yet I cannot wait to wring his neck.
There'll be plenty of time for that later. We have to go now.
I'm sure Mama is waiting for us. We have to take her to the shul.
You go ahead. I'll lock the tavern and block the secret passageway so no one else can get in.
But sir, if any more of them come here,
I can take care of myself. Now go. God be with you.
Henry, my ma is waiting for us. Get her.
Oi, Himmel! What's the matter? Where's Sam?
Don't worry, ma'am. He sent me to take you to him.
Mein Gott! What happened to him?
Nothing. He's out on the street helping the wounded. Let's go now. We're out of time.
Wait! Who are you anyway?
My name is Henry, and I'm a friend of Sam's. I was the one who warned him Sigismund was coming for you.
Thank you. I just hope we can escape before...
Watch out! More are coming! Run to the back. It might be safer there.
What's going on?
Sam! Are you all right?
I'm fine, but we will talk when you are safe. Now run!
We have to get to the synagogue. But how?
Through the backyards. Follow me. Watch out! They're shooting at us! From the ramparts! Get rid of them!
Ah!
Rip your ass open!
Ah! Bleeding, are you? Now you're finished.
But Hashem, they're gone. We have to keep going. Through the yards. us alone! We cannot get past the wagon. We have to go this way. Through the house.
Sorry. Slay those Christ killers!
Mommy, are you all right?
I'm fine. But what about you, mein Kind?
I'm still alive. We can talk later. Now, we have to go.
Come on!
What the hell?
What is it, fuckers? Rather slaughter women and the defenseless?
Let's go! What's going on up there?
Go inside. Quick. To the fucking task.
I've never been so glad to see you two.
In need of a helping hand, are you?
No, I just don't want to die here alone.
There they are!
Well, now we're really fucked.
Mustn't get inside. We have to hold them back.
For how long, though?
As long as we need to.
Hammer them!
Show what you made of! God won't forgive you! We'll kick your asses! I did right that coming, eh? I'll crucify you! Now you fucking whoresons! Blood, yeah! Help me with him! In the name of our Lord! I'm bleeding! Die, you wretch! In the name of our Lord! Help me! You kill me! Don't kill him! Now you're finished! Next one will be in your face! We'll kick your asses! Smash him on the head! Right with the God will forgive you! You won't walk the fucking horse! Fight your you rat! I'm going to finish you!
Him alive!
Yeah!
What are you looking at? Take that fucker out, damn it!
Nice strike!
Come on! Everyone's inside! Henry, come on! Let's go!
God more me. Let's go. It's this way. Damn. That was a close shave. I reckon I should go to Samuel's mother and talk to her about Martin. I won't get another chance.
Just leave them here like this. There's nothing we can do now. We must get the wounded out of here first.
All ablaze.
Just supposed to bury them by the side of the road?
I am sure the Lord will understand. And if you do not believe me, ask the rabbi. He will surely agree.
Thank you, boy.
Where is Miriam? Where is she?
Return, O Lord. How long should thou be wrathful? Have compassion for thy servants. Fill us with the mercy every morning.
Don't worry. Even if that happens, it will be able to pull the wagon. Look at him.
Yes, pull it will, but it will not be fast enough.
Sacra.
Damn it. What if someone notices?
So what? Not stealing the horses. Fuck, babe. I'm sure at least one will take pity and help us.
Are you alright?
I'm fine, lad. I thank you for everything.
I know this might not be the best time, but do you think we could talk about Martin?
What? You know my Martin?
I do. He's, well, he's my father.
Bore Hashem.
I mean, not actually by blood. But he raised me.
Meins is kindele. Tell me, how is he?
He died. It's only been a few months.
Oh, Tehenaf Shutsura Bitzroir Hayem.
Sigismund burned down my village. Pa went to help Ma and... oh, they both died there.
I am sorry to hear that, lad. But that is the Martin I knew. He always put others first. At least you survived. That would make Martin happy.
Well, I'm sorry I don't have better news to give you.
Do not worry about it. I am just sad he died before he could meet Samuel.
Is everything all right?
Yes, do not worry. We were just talking about Martin.
How did you meet Martin, if I may ask?
It was such a long time ago. He wanted to open a blacksmith shop in town, but there was no place among your people, so he tried his luck in our quarter.
And that's where he met you?
The rabbi gathered the good men so they could decide whether we wanted to have a goy blacksmith. And Martin wouldn't stop looking at me all night. Then it went schlag auf schlag.
So what happened that made Martin leave you?
My Martin would never leave me. My father found out we were seeing each other and did his best to drive him away. To marry a goy is isur deoraisa, forbidden. But Martin would not give in, and we kept seeing each other, until one day, I was ubore.
That means pregnant.
Yes. My father knew that if word got out, he would not be able to avoid the shame. So he did not miss a beat and took me out of town in secret. I did not even have time to tell Martin the news. I was gone for almost 4 years. In the meantime, my father told everyone that he had married me off. But my husband died. And he only let me come back when he was sure people had accepted it.
Did Martin not go looking for you when you suddenly disappeared?
People said he did go looking for me, even as far as Colin. But he did not find out anything at all.
If only he had gone all the way to Prague.
Even if he went to the very edge of the world, it would not have been enough. Father would have hidden me somewhere else.
And what about you? Did you ever find another man after that?
No. My father called me a widow, so I stayed a widow.
And he didn't try to find anyone else for you?
You know he did, but it never worked out. I made sure of that.
All right. That's about it.
Before you go, tell me, what was Martin like as a father?
Well, he was strict with me, but not too much. Especially in the forge, he worked me hard. I dream about him quite often. About that last day and what he said to me while we were forging a sword together. He said a life of adventure can be over before it begins. And that blacksmithing might be a dull job, but I keep my head on my neck.
He was absolutely right.
Well, look at me now.
You saved all our lives. Martin would be proud of you. He raised you well.
I'm sorry to keep you this long, but... well, I never thought I'd have a brother, even if not related by blood.
Well, I did not expect that either. And thank you, my almost brother. If it was not for you, I do not know how today would have ended. What are your plans now?
I'll go back to the Devil's Den. To Zizka and the others. We need to figure out what to do next.
I will see you there then. But first, I have to escort everyone to Colleen. I do not want anything to happen to them on the way.
Everything should be all right now.
Take care of yourself, dear brother. I will see you this time tomorrow at the Devil's Den.
Have a safe journey.
Sei gesund.
So, are you sober yet?
More than I would like. You know, Henry, I've been through a lot of battles, but this one was real shitty. Like defending a village that's under attack by other villages.
Well, I'd say one side was a bit more innocent than the other.
I suppose so, but still. Yesterday, this bunch of idiots would never dream of attacking anyone. And today, putting such bloody-mindedness into people's heads. Oh, it is all too easy.
You're probably right. What now? Are you going back to the Devil's Den?
Why do you ask? You want to come with me?
Not yet. I've still got work to do here.
Go on. I will wait here.